Good morning, YouTube. So I'm currently with eldest daughter. Say hello.
Hello.
We're going to see if she can walk her pole. Speak to you in a bit. Courtesy will get you a long way in business or in life in general. When I was at school, as some people might be aware, I was not academic. I was hopeless at school. Even, when other kids were able to read and write and do maths properly, I was really struggling. I was not the best student in the world. I'd go as far as to say that I was, for most teachers, an utter nightmare to deal with. There was one teacher that I had a lot of time for. I had a teacher called Mr. Stirk who was, really patient, really, calming influence, if you like, on me. And he used to write above the door the 3 C's: care, courtesy, and consideration. Now, each of these things is massively important, and ultimately, let's cut to it, in getting what you want out of life, you should treat everybody like the CFO or the CEO, if you like. If you should treat the manager the same as you should treat the receptionist, you know what I mean, with equal courtesy. Recently, I was doing some internal window cleaning at this company that deals with like multi-million-pound contracts and all this sort of stuff, quite high-end sort of engineering. Now, obviously, I'm working in the office doing the interior window cleaning sort of thing, so no one really pays too much attention to you in the background sort of thing, and I'm okay with that. But it's quite interesting when you see how other people treat other people, and what impact that has on these people. Whenever I've dealt with this with a receptionist or office staff or anything like that, I've always been very polite. I've always gone in and said, "Oh, morning, you're all right there? My name's Chris." And I'll tell them what I want. We're a local firm, etc. Just around the corner. Just wondered if they'd be interested, etc. Or if you had a provider. And oftentimes they'll be like, "Well, we've already got someone, but if you leave your card, sort of thing, I'll certainly pass it on to our manager." And I've got in with a couple of them in that same vein. Okay, so be polite, be professional, don't, try and sort of, talk down to anybody or anything like that, right, okay? and ultimately you'll get a lot further. So I'm cleaning these windows and these internal windows in the office, as I have done for a number of years. This quite youngish fella, sort of mid-20s, walks in his suit, very sharp, thinks he's the dog's danglies. His attitude, he oozed that sort of persona of, I know what I want. And he spoke to the receptionist, I'm here to speak to such and such. I have an appointment. And he was very sort of curt, more than he had to be. There was no need for it, to some extent. The receptionist, Julie, lovely lady, almost ignored the way that she was spoken to. Certainly, I'm just going to go check if he's available to see. Well, I have an appointment, was what the guy came back with. It's just like, I'm just going to go and have a chat with him and see if he's finished with the other clients. I'd like to take a seat. I'll be with you shortly. Guy's huffing and puffing, sits down, looks at me like I've just fallen out of his backside, sort of thing. So I was like, well, I ain't got too much to say to you, pal, sort of thing. I'm just like minding my own business, cleaning the windows. I'm just cleaning the windows. I'm minding my own business. Julie comes back down and sort of says, Michael's ready for you now. So the guy storms off, to the meeting room. About time too, sort of thing. Straight in. Door shuts, sort of thing. And then I overheard the receptionist talking to some of the other office staff. God, wasn't he rude? Anyway, fast forward a couple of weeks. I'm back in this same office, and we've changed bank accounts, etc. So obviously, I'm there to sort of hand over the sheet with our updated information, if you like. I said, "Oh, good morning, Julie. All right, love." Says, "I'm just handing you this piece of paper. This has got our new details on it. The old account is closing down at the end of the month, so if you could please give that to your the finance guru in your office. Happy days. And just make sure make him aware, if you would, that the other account is closing. And that'd be great. I'll get straight on that, Chris. Thanks very much," sort of thing, And she trots off. I carried on doing the internal window cleaning at that point, and another guy comes in, and I think it was a builder who was doing some work on that building. What I'm getting round to saying is basically, again, he comes in and goes, similar situation where his invoice hasn't been paid. He comes in, size 10 skeleton boot, almost through the door. He comes in there almost looking for a fight, sort of thing. Very antagonistic, very rude, effing and blinding at people and all this sort of stuff. Talking down to Julie and the team, more because of who they are and the jobs they do, rather than the issue itself, because he deemed himself more important than the people he was dealing with. Showed the guy through to sort of talk to the finance team, etc., and all this sort of stuff. This girl is, Julie, she's, stand-up girl she is, right? But even she turned around to her colleagues and, was just like, what a bell end, cheeky git, sort of thing. What I'm getting round to saying is that was rather than leave a positive impact with these people who are ultimately in a position to help you or hinder you, it doesn't matter to me whether you are the CEO or whether you're the receptionist or whether you're the cleaner. Or, everybody deserves to be treated with respect. Everybody gets benefit of the doubt. The only time I won't deal with someone or necessarily sort of withhold the niceties, if you like, is if they've made it clear to me that ultimately they're just not interested in treating me as a person. When you're dealing with residential window cleaning customers, etc., you're dealing with the decision maker and all this sort of stuff, and people like to them, happy days, you'll get the job, no drama. People sometimes forget to be nice to the gatekeeper, the gateway, the receptionist. Now, here's the thing, right? If you leave your details with the receptionist and you've been an utter so-and-so, and, shall we say, less than helpful or polite, what are the chances of that person jumping to help you? You need as much help as you can get when you're starting a business or when you run a business. And I've seen a couple of my friends sort of lose sight of this a little bit, where they'll walk in, because they've got an established business, they'll walk in and they will give it the big I am. And I've pulled a couple of my friends up for it and said, "Oh, hang on a minute, mate. You got to sort of calm your passion a little bit. Yeah, all right, we all know you've got a business and all this sort of stuff, but there's no need to be rude. They don't know they're being rude. It's just the way other people see it in their eyes. But yeah, care, courtesy, and consideration. Utilize those three things. Be polite to people. Have consideration for how your actions on them will impact the situation. Courtesy, because everybody's entitled to it, and you should actually care and give a shit about about other people and the impact that you as a person will have on them. And I think if we all did that, the world would be a better place. And ultimately, we'd all get what we wanted, wouldn't we? Or at least stand a better chance of doing so anyway. So yeah, today's food of the thought at least anyway. So as usual, thanks for enduring to the end of the video. If you like what we do here, please hit that bell icon and like, share and subscribe to the channel. That would mean the world to us. So yeah, I'm knocking off for the weekend today. So have a great weekend all. I shall see you when I shall see you, and as usual, keep on keeping on.